Hi, this is Mark, and I'm the bassist with Mimelight. So I guess right now what we're doing is we're going to give you a little tour of my equipment, a little bit of my gear. So yeah, like I said, I'm the bassist, so my stuff is kind of a little bit, not as fancy as the other guys, but it does the job. So right here we've got an Ampeg SVT3 Pro head. And we've got that running through my lovely Ampeg 4x10 Classic stack. I love it. I've had it for about a year now. I was able to get the head off of Craigslist, and let me tell you, Craigslist is like the greatest thing for musicians ever. But I was able to trade up for my old gear. But anyways, it's really great for not only live performances but also recording. You can see it has a 12-band EQ right there. So when we want to record, if we want to run it through the head, it's real simple. You just line in right to the computer, and you actually have the opportunity to use the EQ for recording. So that's pretty cool. You also have another smaller set of EQs that I usually use for live setting. I kind of kicked around back and forth between the two, one on a bunch of forums online, and a lot of people say that if you have this rig, these are the way to go. They're a little bit more powerful. But yeah, so that's my rig. Like I said, I'm pushing it through an Ampeg Classic 4x10 stack. Love it. It's got great power, so it does basically anything that you need to, because most of the time if you're in a bigger venue, they're going to be plugging you right into the board. But for smaller venues, this thing puts a lot of power out. So really enjoy that. All right. Oh, the other thing too is that I used to run through I used to have an effects pedal, but as you can see, it's not there anymore. I used to have a Digitech bass overdrive pedal, and it sounded fantastic. We actually did a couple of covers for another band that I was in a couple of years ago. It sounded really great, but unfortunately it's been lost since then. So on to my wonderful weapons of choice. This one right here is the Fender Jazz. It's a Mexican made, and I love it. I got it a couple of years ago. It's already got some road wear on it, but I kind of like it like that. But yeah, very classic sound. Love the jazz sound. Right now, it's just got the two regular pickups. What I'm thinking about doing for right now is I'm actually going to be switching those out for two Seymour Duncan different types of pickups. Actually, I'm going to have a jazz bass bridge, and then I'm actually going to put in a P bass neck pickup, so that it'll give it a lot of bigger tonal range, because I like the sound of a P, but I really like the feel of a jazz bass, and I also like the pickup strength of the bridge pickup. So having that kind of a mix is going to give me a lot better power on stage. So I really enjoy this bass. I've played that for a couple of years, and you'll see me sporting it usually at our shows. I also have here an Ibanez GSR 200 bass. I've had this one since high school, and just have never been able to bring myself to get rid of it, just because it sounds so great. You'll actually see a lot of smaller studios rocking this bass in their studio because of the sound. It's an active bass, so it gives it a little bit more punch, and most of the time actually, or for our earlier recordings, I actually use this bass to record. And once in a while I actually do pull it out for my shows. I love it. Tone quality is just great, and like I said, I've had it since high school, and ever since then I've had to take it into the shop I think once, but just for a quick tune-up. But they sound great. I really would recommend them. But yeah, so that's basically me and my stuff. I'm a bassist, so I don't really need a whole lot of equipment to sound great, except for my fingers and maybe a pick. So that's what I do, and that's who I am. So this is Mark from Mimelight. If you want to check out what I do, go to our website, facebook.com/mimelightmusic, and check out some of our music there. So we'll see you at our next show.